In urology, we see this a lot. We see patients who come in with problems and they think they're the only person who have it, and they're just like embarrassed to bring it up.
Unfortunately, it happens a lot. I think people are very concerned about certain symptoms that they have, and they're just, embarrassed to share it.
Well, I think my field is one of the top fields that probably have a lot of embarrassing symptoms that patients don't want to come to the doctor or divulge to the doctor because they're embarrassed.
It's interesting because in medicine, we see things all the time. And I noticed that as I'm leaving the room, a patient might say, and I've got one more thing to say. So it's kind of when you're uncomfortable, you maybe don't want to share something right away. And then after you get comfortable, you might want to share.
Historically, reproductive tract organs, genital urinary tract, it's kind of a private topic. In some families, it can be taboo. It's a very private, sensitive area of the body. So sometimes we have to do a lot of investigating and a lot of questions to get to the bottom of what they came to see us about. There's nothing that I haven't heard. I'm not here to judge you. I'm only here to give you the best care that I can. And in order to do that, we have to be honest. We have to have a good relationship, an honest relationship, a partnership. It's not a dictatorship. I'm not here to just make you feel like I'm barking out orders to you and this is what, X, Y, and Z. It is a partnership, and I am willing to work with you, but you have to be honest with me too. And I've been doing it for so long. There is nothing that you're going to surprise me with.
Something like hemorrhoids is very embarrassing for patients. But as a doctor, I see that so many times a day. It's very routine for me. And you'll be surprised as a patient that once you do share what it is that is embarrassing for you, that the doctor doesn't even flinch. They're like, oh yeah, we can take care of that.
Patients should know that we've heard everything, and there's nothing that you could tell me that would shock me. It's everything in my career has come across at some point or another. And if it hasn't, then I should know about it because it's my job to figure out what's going on and try to make your symptoms better. Often when we're seeing a patient, let's say they're coming in for a routine follow-up, just as we think we're done and we're, finishing the visit, we're reaching for their doorknob, saying goodbye, and then they'll often say, well, one more thing. And it's like they finally kind of get the courage to bring something up. I would much rather it not be a doorknob conversation. If somebody is suffering from something that's bothersome to them, it's best to make an appointment to have that conversation, spend that time around that concern that they have. But, the doorknob thing happens all the time, and then we just stop and we're like, okay, what else is going on? And often you're sitting down going to a whole nother topic you didn't expect to go into.
We're there to help you with any symptom that you have, and you don't want to minimize those symptoms because then it could harm you. So you want to be honest with your doctor, and honest in the simplest way. Sometimes it's hard to say things, so you kind of skirt around it, and then the doctor's like kind of confused on what you're trying to say. So be direct, be honest. That's what the doctor's there for, is to help you. I think what would be helpful a lot is if they had an agenda, right? So you're thinking to yourself, what is most important to me? And sometimes the most important thing is the most embarrassing thing, right? So you want to bring that to the attention first, because when you do that, you have more time to spend on that issue. Write down the top 3 things that you want to talk about. And if it's embarrassing, maybe preface that. Say, Doc, I'm kind of embarrassed about this, but this is what I have going on. I think that if you feel like you can't tell your doctor something, that doctor could be a totally qualified doctor, but you're just not really jiving with them, then it's probably better to find someone that you feel comfortable with, that you feel like you can share everything with. You want to have that open, honest relationship. And if you don't have that, then it's not helpful to the doctor or to you. So if you feel like you can't tell things to your doctor, then maybe consider getting a different doctor.